Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Um, I wasn't sure if I should film this just yet. Like, is it too soon? Like, nobody really cares about my life maybe, but I thought like I went back and I looked at some bigger YouTubers and I noticed that in the beginning they did an about me video, and then I thought, well, in a way that's like a good idea because then all the future videos that you watch, you kind of have like a little understanding of like, I don't know, like who I am and, you know, my background, where I came from, whatnot. I don't know, I thought it was interesting. So I thought, you know what, I'll put it out there, and if you don't care, you don't have to watch it. Um, but I don't know, I just thought it was a good idea. Just to say, it's kind of more personal, than doing reviews and stuff. But yeah, so I just thought it'd be more of a casual video to shoot. So let's see, about me. So I was born and raised in Queens, New York. Um, if you're not familiar, it's right outside of the city. If you ever watched King of Queens on TV years ago, that's basically the neighborhood that I grew up in. And I lived there. I met my husband. My husband's also from Queens, different area, but pretty much still from Queens. We met. I was 18 when I met him, and even when we got married, we pretty much stayed in Queens. Close to the first 30 years of my life, and then after having a few kids, a couple kids, we're like, okay, time to get the house, and it's not cheap to buy a house in Queens, and you get such a little amount of property. So yeah, you get like a square for a piece of grass. So we really just wanted more. So we ended up moving a little further out. But going back, so going back to the very beginning, little bit of fun fact. I don't know. So I was born. When I was born, I was adopted as a baby. So literally, like, it was all planned. My parents, who raised me, were there to pick me up and, take me home. And yeah, I was very blessed to be part of a great family. I have a brother and a sister who are both older. I'm the baby. And they were also adopted, different families. But, we're one family. Like, the family I grew up with is my family. That's it, no matter what. My parents are my parents. My siblings are my siblings. I was very blessed and very lucky. So yeah, and so pretty much typical. Went to Catholic school for the first 12 years of my life. High school, I went into the Bronx, so it was a little more. It wasn't like very close, but wasn't that far. But that's what we did. And I went to college in Queens. I didn't commute. I didn't live in a dorm or anything. And I'll tell you, visiting colleges now with my kids all these years, both my husband and I are like, ooh, we missed out on some fun partying. So wouldn't mind going there now. Just don't want to take classes. But yeah, so that was that. And I worked locally when I was younger, and then got my real first job, obviously in the city. That's where like it's supposed to work, right? So I went into the city, and I loved it. I want all my kids to. I tell them, you have to at least work in Manhattan at least once in your life, because they can, because they live close by or whatnot. And it's just where we came from. So I just feel like it's a part of. It's just fun. It's so fun. Yeah, and I remember we first got married. I got a new job. Everything was new, and I worked in the city. But then, unfortunately, that company moved to Atlanta, and I had to look for another job. And instead, I took a job that was not in the city anymore, but closer to home, which what I thought was like way out Long Island, and it's really not. It's like border Queens, Nassau, Long Island. And so I worked there for about 8 years, give or take, and they had a main office in Manhattan. They were actually in the World Trade Center on the 104th floor. And yeah, that was, so what, 20 years ago? And I worked there for about 8 years. So our main office was there. We were a department that worked in the other office. And, you know, we went there here and there once in a while, Christmas parties, certain days for certain meetings and whatnot. We worked with the people there. We knew it was great. And then, like, the last year we were there, they decided they were going to close that office up. And so it was like, get another job, or you could, you know, work there. But a lot of people didn't want to do the commute. So I was like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't far from me. And I actually, my friend who was my boss at the time convinced me to go for a position there in a different department, and I did, and it was great because it was a higher position, it was more money, and it was interesting, you know, it was really good. So I said, all right, like I didn't want to have to go back in the city because I had my son at the time who was 3. No, I'm lying. He was 5. My son was 5, my oldest was 5, my daughter was 2 years old. But the reason why I really didn't want to be far from home is because when she was born, she was like 3 months old, and something wasn't right. She was coughing, she was spitting up her mouth, and you know, we took her to doctors. Finally, one doctor said, just take her to the emergency room. Let's just have her fully checked out. Long story short, she had an enlarged heart, and it was like 4 times the size of a normal baby's heart that it should be. So it was a really hard time, the worst time we ever went through, because it wasn't good. It didn't look good. You know, she might have had to they were thinking of heart transplant, and you know, it was really bad. So, long story short, she's better now. Knock on wood. But she had to take medications for a while, but they weaned her off, and they call her Miracle Baby. Like doctors even call her Miracle Baby because she was pretty bad, and they said she just, I don't know, like she's 7 years down the road, she was 100%. You wouldn't even know that she had a heart issue. I have to knock on wood again. And so, you know, that's another whole story. But so I didn't want to be too far from home anyway. And then I also knew that I wanted a 3rd baby. So even though, so I was in the World Trade Center on the 104th floor. I worked there for about a year. Great people, loved it. It was an interesting position. But again, like I just want to be closer to home. I don't want to commute on the subway pregnant, and so many of you guys do, and I give you so much credit because there's so many jerks out there who will not get up to give you a seat on the subway. And it's just like, the subway's so crowded. I'm just like, I just didn't want to do it. So my husband and I agreed. I left there. So I decided I was going to leave. And actually when I told them I just can't, they tried to like work with me. Maybe I could work 2 days from home. But back in the day, like I'm going 20 years ago, you can't work remotely like you can now with technology. It took forever. It was dial-up. It took forever for a spreadsheet to like pull up. It was just, it didn't work. It was frustrating on both ends, my end and their end. And I just said, yeah, we both agreed. All right, no more. So, I did get a job, but I hated it so much close to home. And my husband said, just stay home. We'll figure it out. And we did, and I was lucky that I could do that. And so that December, I left my city job. And 9 months later, 9/11 happened. So, you know, you wonder, wow, because everyone that I worked with in my department, person I sat next to, in front of, behind, to the diagonal, like pretty much my whole department got killed that day. So, you know, it's a hard day for everyone, really. I mean, obviously the victims and their family, but, you know, it's just weird. Just weird. So yeah, so I stayed home for about almost 4 years. And I realized it's time to go back to work, you know, money and, you know, just time to go back. And I loved those years home with my kids. It was the best for me to be with them and really like just be 100% involved and not have to go to work. So yeah, so I went back, and I actually went back to the same company. They were on the 4th floor this time in Midtown, and they took, you know, there wasn't really a position there, but they said, come help out with some deals that were going on. And, you know, because it was hard to get a job when you're home for a few years, people think like, oh, you don't know anything anymore, but it's so silly. So they took me back for a year, which looked great on my resume. I went back. Okay, so fast forward, I got 3 wonderful children who are now the ages, well, let's see, my youngest will be 16 next month. My middle daughter will be 19 in a couple months. Wow. And my son will be 23 this year. So time flies. Hold your little babies because it goes fast. So, so we raised our children, and I am currently working at a job that I really enjoy. I've been there a little over 10 years. You know, it's a step back. I just wanted a simple job. I didn't want to have to go home and stress and think about work. And you know, my parents also moved in. They were elderly at the time, and I had 3 kids, elderly parents, and it's just too much. I didn't want to have to come home late from work all the time. I just wanted to be able to leave my job 9 to 5, whatnot. And yeah, so that's where I am now. And you know, I don't know. I just now my oldest son lives in a different state. My middle one is away at college. Although she's home a lot. And then my youngest one is in high school. But my dad passed away 7 years ago. He was 95 though, so God bless him, strong as an ox. My mom just went into a nursing home, which she needed to do for her mind. It's the best thing. She's thriving. She's great there. We go there all the time. And but I just feel like, you know, yes, I take care of my husband, but like, I don't know, like you when you go from like doing so much and then like nothing, and my job, which again, I'm not knocking, is just not, I just don't do as much as I used to do. It's, I don't want to say laid back or simple, but it's not really, you know, I'm not using my, I don't know, like I just don't feel, maybe there's a little void or something, I don't know. So that's when like I decided I needed something else, and that's what this YouTube channel has done for me. You know, even if I'm not looking at it to make money. It's not about that. It's just like I need something that's something I can look forward to, something I can work on. I feel like I'm doing something, like, you know, I'm having a blast. Like, I don't know, even though I'm working full time, I'm finding time to do the videos, mostly on the weekends. I edit during the week, whatnot. It's just so fun. And how it started is because I remember I said I had a couple things. So I wanted to do the keratin, which I have a video on. That's one of my first videos. It's pretty bad because it was done on my phone. I had a DSLR camera, I just don't know how to use it, so I didn't even bother trying. But the thing is, I really wanted to know. I want to get keratin done, but I want to leave my hair curly, and I could not find a video for someone with my type of hair that did that. Like, I Googled and Googled, so it was months and months that I never got it done because I didn't know if I could do it or not. I asked my hairstylist, and I don't know, at the time I had a different hairstyle. She was like, eh. So I'm like, you know what? And then I talked to her again, and my new hairstylist, she said, yeah, we could do whatever. And then I said to my husband, I'm like, maybe I should just do a video so that people who really want to do it can find a video out there and say, look, you can do keratin and you can leave your hair curly. Because that's what I was looking for, and it wasn't out there. And my kids were like, yeah, do it. So I did it, and I filmed all the process of it. I just didn't upload it because I was like, oh, it's kind of embarrassing, like, who am I? I don't know, like, it wasn't that great, it wasn't clear, it was just like, eh. And then, you know, I was just, how do I go about it? And then I slowly, like, watching YouTube videos, I'm like, you know what? I could do this, and this could help fill my void that I'm feeling. And I thought, you know, I could do hair products and makeup reviews for, like, an average woman like me. You know, I'm mature, and there's a lot of videos. There's a lot of channels out there geared for the younger girls and guys, and there are a lot of great channels for my age too, but I'm like, but you know, I think there's enough room for all of us. I do believe that, because I don't just watch one channel. I watch like a lot of channels, and I love them all, and I can't wait till they come on every time I look for them for their new videos. And I thought, like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to see how it goes. And so far I'm loving it. I really am. And I wanted to do other videos at another time, this was like a while ago, even before this, I always said I would love to do YouTube videos, but it wasn't enough to have a whole channel on. Like I wanted to do like how to do Word, Excel, PowerPoint on the computer, because I know that a lot of jobs you need that, and you have to take that test to just do the simple, just pass the simple basics of how to get around in those programs. And I've like been using them for like literally 30 years. So I'm like, I would love to do this, because I'm the person in the office that everybody comes to since literally the past 30 years. Every job I've been at, I'm the person, how do I do this and where, how do I do that? So I'm like, I would love if I can help someone get a job because they figured out, they know how to use Word or Excel now or PowerPoint. God, that would feel so good, like, you know. But I'm like, but how many videos can I really do on that? It wouldn't be enough. So I mean, I'm kind of thinking about putting it on my channel and just having them as a different playlist. I don't know if that's weird, because they say try and stick to your niche. So same thing. That'd be very different. But maybe I'll do it. I'll think about it. And we'll see. So I think I covered everything. I mean, again, do you care to watch this about me? I don't know. But I just thought it'd be interesting, you know, little things here and there. I mean, I can get into more of each topic that I brought up earlier. But do you care? Probably not. So just a little outline, quick little outline of my past and how, yeah, I mean, I'm loving life now doing this, and I'm loving my kids. Family is the best, just the best, and that's it. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it didn't bore you, but that's about it. So please subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I want to make some more fun videos. So give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know if you want to hear more about other things that I talked about. Not really sure. But yeah, so have a nice day, and thanks for watching.